Karma brand station. Bringing you his authentic perspectives on important topics.
They live in suburbs together. They live in the city together. They hang out together, all in the same family. We're the only idiots that fight because we want our voice to only be on one side. Like, does that even make any sense? And when the side loses, you lose everything. They, on the other hand, have a voice no matter what because somebody that looks like them is always in control.
Frank, candid, and straight to the point.
Well, it's just a skewed system.
Of course it is.
It's a lot of judgment.
But answer my question, though. Should we let people go? Should we let people go? Like, let's just forget about bail altogether. And if your neighbor commits a homicide and kills people up, if you kill people and they next to you and you just let them come back and live right next to you, they can live upstairs from you. Let them come in your house.
Frank, candid, and straight to the point. This is the best radio show in the state of Wisconsin. Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth and The Truth app.
Now, he's the mayor of the city of Milwaukee. He's a young man. Give him a chance. I only complain about things that I care about. What I want you to do is pretend like I'm in St. Louis. And all I'm asking the mayor and the Common Council president and the Common Council, show me.
Now, live from the American Family Insurance Studio at the Avenue in the heart of downtown Milwaukee, here is Dr. Ken Harris.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. 833-212-1017 is the number. Yeah, I took Friday off. People sending me texts. Where you at? Where you at? Not to be confused with who you with. I don't know. Had a lot of thinking to do over the weekend. Had a lot of interesting things happen over the weekend. Everybody's upset about the tariffs. And so I talked about that. There are some things that are going on that people need to understand. One of the things that I complained about, one of the things that I suggested to people is that when it comes to money, if you want to use it for where you invest, that's one thing. But don't let your ideological influences, specifically, because I can never say that word, political ideology, dictate where you invest, dictate how you move, dictate how you make money. I recently took one of those tests that showed that I am driven by success, winning, making money, all those things. Sometimes it's critical for people that are friends because I seem to be spending all my time planning and making money and making lists and doing all that kind of stuff. But that's me. It's not wrong. It's not right. It's just me. So what can be good for me can be bad for somebody else and vice versa. But at some point, we have to come to the realization that how we look at the markets, how we look at tariffs and all this is simply a product of our political affiliation and who we hate and don't hate, like and dislike. For instance, if the Democrats were in office and Republicans weren't president, they'd be screaming bloody murder about how bad the market is doing. Oh, these tariffs are causing all these trouble and blah, blah, blah. People losing money, right? Republicans are in office, and all the diehard Republicans, the old guard, are just quiet. Now, at any other time, we'd be screaming bloody murder. But I did the same thing under Biden, and I'm going to do the same thing under Trump, that in the long run, how you feel is just that. What you believe is just that. But the facts of the matter don't change. They stay the same. For those of you in 2025 that are not invested in the stock market, you need to go find an advisor and you need to start investing. I don't care if you do it through insurance. I don't care if you do it through a 401k, a 403b, whatever. You need to be in the market. Why? Because that is where you'll make your money. That is why people make money. That's how insurance companies make money. That's how businesses make money. But we have this thing in our brain that the world's going to come to an end. We have this thing in our brain that because Donald Trump is in office, the world's going to come to an end. Well, he was in office before, and the world didn't come to an end. A couple of people moved out the country, still waiting for Alec Baldwin to go. But for the most part, Rosie O'Donnell's in Ireland, and, they don't want her there. Like, why are you here? Right? But she's an O'Donnell, so, at least she's got Irish roots, right? And then the other part is, like, pretty much all the producers here, they weren't alive. With the exception of maybe one, they weren't alive the last times the market went down. So they're panicking. Oh my gosh, that's why I don't invest. You'll lose your money. You're not going to lose your money. You'll lose your money. What's his name? Warren Buffett, Donald Trump, Elon Musk. They lost billions of dollars in a day. Right. But they also made billions of dollars in a day. So don't forget that. Many of you were not alive. So let me see, if you're in your 20s, no. Yeah, you were alive, but you were a kid. Your parents probably remember it. The dot-com bubble, remember that? Dot-com, we're going to sell everything. We're going to buy it. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. And then it went down. And out of all that, what companies do you have left? There are only 3 companies that were originally pre-dot-com bubble that are still here. But yet, we want to complain about it. But people don't understand. How low did the market drop during the dot-com bubble? 50%. People in the market lost 50% of their money. What about COVID? Were you around for COVID? Yeah, I was in school. I was doing this. I was doing that. If you were around for COVID, when the market went down, it went down 34%. 34%. A third of your money was gone. With tariffs, as of today, %12. It's literally like 11.98 or something, 11.96%. The market's down. But everybody keeps saying, oh my God, the world's coming to an end. Well, here's why the world won't come to an end. Other than high prices, many black Americans who are not invested won't lose money. They might pay a little more and lose it that way, but they're not invested. In the United States of America, 10% of the country owns 93% of the value of the United States stock market. So out of what, 350, 360 million Americans, only 36 million own 93%. And that's a lot of them middle class folks y'all talk about that y'all talk about. They'll be talking about, oh my God, it's terrible. It's, right? But we forget that a lot of people are not. There's extreme volatility. They're negotiating tariffs, what we're going to pay, what they're not going to pay, what they're going to do, what they're not going to do. It's going to be rough. It is going to be a rough year for those that are invested, for those that are not invested, prices may get a little higher, but the housing market, mortgages are down to 6%. So when we complain, like we did with Biden, oh my God, you didn't do this and this is, or like we do with Trump, oh my God, we can't complete it. That's all it is. It's just noise. When the dot-com bubble hit and people invested all this money in places like Netscape, remember that? No, it's gone. Mark Cuban is rich today because I believe he started one of those companies that was recording and downloading and saving audio and all that, and he sold it for billions of dollars, and then it collapsed. COVID, 34% drop. Tariffs, to date, 12%. But we say the world is coming to an end. But with 10% of the country owning 93% of the stock, and that's not true. It's the entire market, stock, bonds, ETFs, everything. Guess how much 50% of the country owns? 1%. That's the other people. 1%. Now, one thing you have to remember, right? Because everybody is keying on Biden and Trump. Biden and Trump. Let's take Trump's first 4 years. Let's take Biden's first 4 years. How much you think the market went up, percentage-wise? Glenn, take a wild guess. In percentages, how much you think from the time Donald Trump came into office, went out, Biden came in his first 4 years, that 8-year period, how much you think the market went up?
I'm going to say 7%.
7%, okay. Try 100. It doubled. From roughly 19,000 to where it stands today at the close of 37,966. Double. Because that's what happens over time. So if somebody young started investing, and no, I'm not the advisor, you should seek the advice of a competent professional, and they invested for giggles 20 years ago, what do you think you'd have right now? All things being equal, you'd have double. But here we are complaining that the world is coming to an end. We're complaining, but yet we don't have any skin in the game at all. And so now is the time to learn how these things can affect you. Ways to make money. Ways to make sure you have generational wealth. And we'll talk about that. Are we building companies to sell them so we can have generational wealth for ourselves, or do we want to keep it all black owned? 833-212-1017 is the number. Which one do you do? If you start a business, if you work hard, if you build it up, are you building it for your family so that you can sell it and leave money for your children and your grandchildren and your great-grandchildren and your children's children's children? Or do you own it and keep it because you're black? Because in the end, we can complain and scream and holler if you want to that the world is coming to an end. You know what my response to that is? Okay.
And that is Dr. Ken's Truth on the new 1017 The Truth.
This is 1017 The Truth, Kyle Wallace, and the time is now, Milwaukee. Truth to Power is your platform, and on my show, our community always has a voice. There is no topic that is off limits, and I always give you my authentic opinions on how I feel, because keeping it real is the only way I know how to get down. Listen to Truth to Power with me, Kyle Wallace, every day from noon to 1 p.m. on the award-winning 1017 The Truth app, and streaming live on YouTube at 1017 The Truth. Milwaukee Black Talk.
Join the City of Milwaukee for a chance to connect your business to potential contracting opportunities with the city and county government at the upcoming City of Milwaukee Vendor Fair. This event is a gateway to expand your business through workshops, networking, and access to staff regarding city contracting opportunities. The event takes place from 8 a.m. until 3 p.m. on Thursday, April 24th at BMO Tower, 790 North Water Street, floors 2 and 11. Again, that's the City of Milwaukee Vendor Fair on Thursday, April 24th from 8 a.m. until 3 p.m. at the BMO Tower in downtown Milwaukee. Come learn about the city's bid submittal process, small business certification, and contracting opportunities. Parking validation is available for this event at the BMO Tower. You don't want to miss this one. Save the date for April 24th at BMO. Sponsored by the City of Milwaukee Department of Administration, City of Milwaukee Purchasing Department, and the City of Milwaukee Department of City Development. For more information, you can visit milwaukee.gov/DOA events.
From my family and myself, I would like to say thank you to Gruber Law Offices for taking such good care of us.
I would say thank you because you're so human and so much of a friend during the whole process.
I'm super grateful for them representing me and doing all that they did for me.
I would just say thank you for making me feel better.
That's why I'm here, to say thank you, thank you, thank you.
Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Ready to buy your first house, move into your forever home, or simply refinance? At Associated Bank, they've got you. With the right lending plan and guidance, you can achieve your dreams. Your financial goals are closer than you think, and Associated Bank is excited to help you reach them. Learn more at associatedbank.com/lending or ask a banker for details. Subject to credit approval, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Want to help build a better Milwaukee? 1MKE is a nonpartisan coalition of over 70 community partners making it easier to plug in to what matters. From local services that can save you time and money, to events that build community, to voting resources to ensure your voice is heard. Whether you're new to civic engagement or ready to level up your impact, there's a place for you at 1MKE. Learn more, get involved at 1mke.org. That's 1mke.org. We are 1MKE.
This is Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. 833-212-1017 is the number. George, you're on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. How are you?
I'm good, and yourself?
I'm good.
Can we do a history lesson?
Not really, but what do we? That's not my topic. But what?
It's on your topic. I'm just going to take us back a little further because you're going back as far as Biden and Trump. I want to take it a little bit further and bring us forward.
Why?
Why?
That's a question. Why?
Because it's going to fall into what you're talking about. That's
okay,
why.
But you're not. Okay, so
Dr. Ken, do we always got to go through this every time me and you have a discussion?
Yes, we
Can
do
I
because
just come on, make a point?
No,
and then
because every time you call,
kind of answer.
Well, you asked me a question, so I'm trying to answer it just like I asked you a question. Every time I talk to you, all you do is bash everything I say and negate everything I say.
You do the same thing, Dr. Ken. So let's just go. Let's just for a chance. Let me get my points out. Because
but I'm not hollering at you, but you're hollering at me. Like I don't really get that.
I'm not hollering. I get frustrated because you interrupt my conversation before I get a chance to say stuff. I'm trying to make a point here.
Okay.
But you're interrupting my
make
conversation.
Your point because because you asked me a question.
Let me make my point.
Stop talking and let me finish. Because I want you to answer the question, not give me a history lesson. I don't want to hear a history lesson. Do you have a comment about my topic?
That's where I'm going.
I don't want a history lesson.
Well, then hang up on me, Dr. Ken, because you try to.
What is your point? Why don't you just make your point? Why don't you just?
Okay, so who do we have a What was the last president we had a surplus under?
I don't care. What is your point about my current topic?
Bye, Dr. Ken. You're such an idiot.
And I'll be an idiot. My point is this. let's talk about what we're talking about. I don't have time to go down to a history lesson and go all the way so you can prove me wrong. Okay, just prove me wrong. Just say, here's why. Because in such and such a time, we had this and that. That's it. One statement. That's all you got to do. And then we discuss it. That's all. And then you call me an idiot. Okay. I'll be an idiot today. Love it. Love it. Love it. And if you want to actually make your point, make your point. But I'm not going for a history lesson. 833-212-1017 is the number. Before I was rudely interrupted, tariffs have been here for 50 years. We've been going through this for 50 years. There's a history lesson, George. But the bottom line is, in the end, no, he wasn't trying, Al, he wasn't trying to be respectful. I asked him to just make his point. That's all. Make your point. History lesson? I'm not open for a history lesson today. On and on and on. Anyway, historically, like in the last 8 years, because we're only into the second term, those 8 years matter. It's about a 10-year period, right? So what happened in the past is pretty much irrelevant by virtue of the fact that every 10-year period is what Ipsen tracks. So that's going to matter, that 8 years, right? And then, so it's Trump, then Biden, and then the 2 years into Trump. So if you look at those 10 years, that's going to give you an idea of what exactly is happening in the market on average. The market has always been positive if you pick any 10-year period. My concern is now back 10 years. That's it. What other presidents did and how we had a surplus is irrelevant because that has to do, that's a surplus in the budget has nothing to do with the market. We're talking about the market. The market. The market. So in that case, I guess if that's the thing, I'll be an idiot. James, you're on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. How are you?
All right, let me start this off by first of all saying I love you and good evening or afternoon, whatever it is.
How are you?
Fine. In reference to your question about starting a business, I guess if I started a business and it was really, I mean, it turned out to be real good and the business did real good, I would probably talk to my children first to see if they want to continue that business. And if not, then, of course, we'd probably wind up selling that business, take the money, and, you know, I guess send it down through the family in hopes that they take that money and start something else, because eventually I'm sure that money would be gone at some point in time if it didn't reinvest it or do something with it, I guess.
But I keep hearing from people that black people should keep the black business. Like, people are still mad at Bob Johnson for selling BET. But Bob Johnson secured his children's legacy, his grandchildren's legacy, and his great-great-grandchildren's legacy by becoming a billionaire and being able to buy sports teams and broaden his revenue streams. And so I don't know, is there anything wrong with that?
No, that's crazy, because, I mean, if I'm done with it, who are you to tell me to continue on with something that I'm done with? I've done as far as I want to go with it. So who are you to tell me, no, you shouldn't have did that, or no, keep the business, because the same people probably tell you to keep the business, the last one probably supporting it any doggone way.
But we lose another black business, and we lose another black, we lost a substantial voice in black media when we got rid of BET. We went from programming and politics and public affairs and talk shows and, dispensing information that black people needed from the entire diaspora, from Africa to Caribbean to America to, Cadillac and Cavassier. And that was it. And that's all they pushed, and that's all they showed us. And that's where we are today.
Well, I guess my question would be, is there somebody else black that wanted to take the business over, something like that? Or, I guess to continue his legacy or continue what he left there, I guess? I don't know.
But then how do we do that? Because we don't have money.
It's easy to say, don't sell your business, but okay, right. Don't sell it. But I'm tired. I've gone and done everything I can do. So now what's the next step?
Yeah, but they sold it to a predominantly white company that then just, told us what
so
black
I'm on
people.
I'm on the outside looking in. So was there an opportunity to sell it to a black company or something like that? I guess I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know, but I think, and I guess the question I'm asking is it important to keep it in the black community? Is it important to keep it in black hands so that the culture?
I could prefer to keep it in black hands if it's a possibility, but if not, I have to do what I have to do. I could prefer that,
So watch this. I'm kind of setting you up. So you choosing money? You choosing money over culture?
I'm choosing my family over culture.
Okay. All right.
All right. Love you, Dr. Ken. Have a great evening.
Take care, man. He said, I'm choosing my culture. 833-212-1017 is the number. C-Round said, wow, just wow. The past doesn't matter, but we look at an overall 10-year period. The reason I say the overall 10-year period is because a 10-year period is what people use on average as to whether or not you'll make money in the market. Got it? Got it? So when you do that and you're able to look at it, you're able to figure out you're able to figure out how the market is doing, right? So you can pick from 1929 to today. I'm only choosing to look at the last 10 years, right? Because you got two presidents that are both markedly different in terms of ideology, in terms of market, in terms of social issues, race, gender, DEI, all that. They are all the way on the other end of the spectrum from each other, but they share 8 years of the market. The market's doubled in that time under both of them. Under both of them. That's what I'm looking at. That. Whether or not we had a surplus in the government is irrelevant because that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about the market. Now, the president can do things in the market to cause it to waver up or down, but they don't literally do, like they don't control it. The Fed and all those other folks do. That's all I'm saying. 833-212-1017 is the number. What are your thoughts? Do we keep our businesses to ourselves and promote the culture and jobs and all that? Or is there a point where you would sell out? And when I say sell out, I mean sell your business, not sell out to the race or sell out to anything like that, nothing negative. That you then move forward and take advantage of your win, take advantage of your success, and reap the benefits. I'm just saying. 833-212-1017 is the number. And now with 1017 The Truth, Milwaukee Black Talk Traffic, here is Debbie Lassica.
Northbound on 43, slowing down from about State Street all the way up to Keefe. The southbound side of 43 slowing down right through the Marquette and over the high-rise bridge down towards Lapham. Westbound 94 is heavy from 25th Street all the way through to about 68th Street. On the eastbound side, you're looking at delays right from the Stadium interchange all the way to 35th. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast. Tonight, clearing skies, cold with a low of 22. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, a high of 39. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Laziga on 1017 The Truth.
Don't touch that dial. More of Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris is next on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com. This is your Planned Parenthood Advocates of Wisconsin Minute.
Victory Garden Initiative is an 1.5 acre urban farm that sits right in the middle of the Black community on Richards and Concordia. I don't know if you know that Harambe is a food desert. So within its borders, there are no major grocery stores. So people rely on things like dollar store, corner stores, liquor stores to buy food, which is all unhealthy. Everything we grow, and we grow everything, tomatoes to potatoes to carrots to corn to onions, and so on. And everything we grow is free to the community. It started in 2009. They wanted to build a sustainable food production system that was healthy and sustainable. And what that meant was giving people the resources to grow their own food and the skills to make sure that those attempts were successful.
This has been your Planned Parenthood Advocates of Wisconsin Minute.
It's 101.7 The Truth. Dr. Ken Harris for Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. There's lots of buzz surrounding the draft, but you won't find one seeping through Pella's windows and doors. In fact, you should make Pella your number one pick because right now you can take advantage of no interest financing options or free glass upgrades as long as you order by April 30th. Make a statement by adding Pella's architectural interest inside and out with maximum design flexibility. Their talented designers and installers can match your unique home through dramatic sizes, custom colors, finishes, profiles, product types, and more. Along with durable and distinguished details, all Pella products stand the test of time, which is why they confidently offer the best wood warranty in the industry. Don't miss out on no-interest financing options or free glass upgrades at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Certain restrictions apply, and the deal ends April 30th, so place your free in-home consultation today at PellaWI.com.
Great impressions will exceed your expectations. Great impressions, perceptions, everything.
At Great Impressions Graphics and Printing, they've been proudly serving the community for over 26 years. From their location at the corner of 54th and Burleigh in Milwaukee, their dedication to quality and customer satisfaction has made them a trusted name in printing and design. Great Impressions offer a wide range of services, including banners, posters, yard signs, business cards, programs, and postcards. Plus, they specialize in custom apparel printing, perfect for family reunions, sports outings, business promotions, and more. For your next project, visit greatimpress.com. That's greatimpress.com. Great Impressions. They're here when you need them.
Great impressions, perceptions, everything.
This is Associated Bank Sports Update on 101.7 The Truth. Is powered by ESPN Milwaukee. I'm Brandon Snide. The Milwaukee Brewers wrapped up their 7-game homestand with an 8-2 win over the Reds on Sunday, thanks in large part to not one, but two Jackson Chourio home runs.
1-1 pitch is a high fly ball, deep left field, bye-bye baseball. Chourio's done it again. A solo shot, and he's driven in 5 this afternoon.
Next up for the Brewers is the Rockies out in Colorado on Tuesday. And lastly, we head over to the NBA where no Giannis, no Dame, but nonetheless, the Bucks getting the 111-107 win in New Orleans. Gary Trent Jr. leading the way with 29 points. Kevin Porter Jr. added 20. And next up for the 44-34 Bucks is the Minnesota Timberwolves on Tuesday night in Milwaukee. This Sports Update brought to you by Associated Bank, proudly supporting your hometown teams. Member FDIC.
This is Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 101.7 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. Al, you're on the award-winning 101.7 The Truth. You gonna call me an idiot too?
Absolutely not. What I was going to say,
yes, sir,
is if you have a business and you're setting it up for the family, I will make sure first if they have a interest in the business, because there's too many times they want the benefits and not the responsibility. And if they didn't want the responsibility, I will set the money up in a trust so they won't be broke in the next couple of years. I wouldn't give them a whole lot, the bare minimum, and then once I get rid of the business, if my hands is washed up and you go do you. But if you show interest and you take responsibility, then I can leave it to the family, because there's been too many times where they was left apartment buildings and a lot of wealth, and they didn't take care of the responsibility, but they took the benefits and they end up losing it anyway. But if they want to take the torch, I'll teach them everything and I can hand it down. But if they don't want the responsibility and they just want the benefits, I'm gonna set the money up in a trust, and after the trust, boof, be gone, and then I'm gonna wash my hands of it. And that's the reason why a lot of black people don't have generational wealth now, because they want the benefits, but they don't want the responsibility. But when you look at other families, they might grow up in a shack. And because that shack was paid for, they took the equity out and bought a business, and then it turned to generational wealth. And that's it.
But
or on the other hand, in some communities, they look at whatever was left was a sign of struggle, and they don't want to be attached to it. So if you look at it as a sign of struggle and you just want the benefits, it ain't nothing I can do, because the only thing you're going to do is let it rot, and you're going to end up selling it anyway, and then the next generation you produce ain't going to know how to appreciate it anyway.
But what if I want to sell it to do what I want to do? Like, what if you leave it to me with the suggestion of run it for X amount of years, 3, 4, 5 years. And then if you don't want it, decide what you want to do. If you got 3 kids, let the kids decide. One of y'all want to run it and the other 2 out and go do something like, aren't there alternatives?
Well, yeah, it is, but if I'm alive and you have other kids, I'm going to set up in the trust for the other kids myself, since I created it. They might be your kids, but see, you might have a different motive. But considering I'm the founder and the creator, that help benefit you and your offspring, I'm going to have all that set up.
Yeah, but somebody helped you benefit. That's how you got where you were too. Now you didn't do this all by yourself, right?
That's true. That's right. But I took the responsibility to learn about it. It's totally different when you appreciate it.
But what if I don't want to do it? What if I don't want to do it? What if Al said, I have a son, but my son is into, I don't know. In anything, carpentry, carpentry, and Al runs electricity. So Al has an electric company, but your son wants a carpenter's company. He wants to build houses.
Well,
Isn't it okay for you to build? Isn't it okay for you to build something up so that when your company, like X amount of years after you pass away and your company's there, they then can take your company, sell it, and open up their own firm and pass the money on that way?
Well, if they do want to do that, I will leave them a certain amount of money. But if they want to do it on a grandstand, they can take the money and the equity from that business to start a bigger business and start another bigger business.
How are you leaving generational wealth, but you're not leaving it all to them?
No, I said I'm going to leave it to him and his children. But if he showed no interest into it, why would I leave all that money for you and you don't appreciate it? All you're going to do is spend it and just give it away.
But you don't know that.
That shows a black of no care.
But you don't know that. It's the future. You're dead.
Well, that's true, too. But if I know I'm going to die, I'm not going to give you everything so you can mess it off. I want you to appreciate it so I can feel good when I rot in the box. I can know I'm rotting with a smile on my face.
So you just think, in general, people are just going to blow all their money?
I didn't say in general, but likely what happens is those who don't appreciate it going to run through the money anyway. Those who appreciate it use that business to build another business so it can be a continued generation of wealth.
Okay.
That's why when people who work real hard, that's why they don't like to get with people who don't work, because some people who don't work don't appreciate the people who go to work, because they don't know how to appreciate it, gain it, retain it, lose it, and get it again.
But are you making assumptions based on your experience? Because I don't know if that's the truth for everybody.
No, I didn't say everybody. I said for some.
Okay. All right. Thank you much.
All right.
Appreciate it.
Bye-bye.
Bye. I don't know how I feel about that. Like, if I don't know the reasons why someone does something, I don't know if I can make a decision based on what I know, because I know it's incomplete. I know the information I have is incomplete. You don't want to run my business. Okay, then I'm not leaving it to you. But you don't know why they don't want to run your business. Maybe they want to run a different business. Maybe you liquidate your business and buy them a business. Like there are so many other opportunities. And I think when we close it off and just say, you either run this business or you don't get no money. I don't know. And I know that's not what Al was saying. But I don't know. 833-212-1017 is the number. I don't know. But something has to be done. Stop. Let me breathe. George said, "Are you scared of my intellect? Not here to bash, only to challenge you. I don't get it. Is only your truth?" No, I said I wanted to talk about the Biden and Trump, and you want to give me a history lesson. I told you I didn't want a history lesson. I want to talk about the topic right here. We're not talking about surplus, and that has to do with the federal budget. We're not talking about that. We're talking about the market and what's happening today with tariffs and how it's affecting people. That's what I said. No one's afraid of your intellect. Otherwise, I wouldn't have pushed the button to say, hello, George. Number two, you called me an idiot hanging up. So you did bash. So you say you're here to challenge, although it really didn't hurt my feelings. You say you're here to challenge. You challenge people by calling them an idiot? There's only one set of truth. There's no your truth and my truth. What's true is true, and it stands on its own. I happen to be talking about a very specific time period with the tariffs today. I don't need a history lesson. And I told you, I don't want a history lesson. I want you to talk about the topic that was today. You're the one that went off and called me an idiot. I didn't. So I'm just saying. Am I scared of your intellect? No. There's your answer. Daniel said, Dr. Ken, did Byron Allen try for? Yeah, he did. I don't know. I don't know if Byron Allen was that big. I think he was still like in his startup phase type thing. I don't know if he was that big by then. That's a good question. What's his name? Tyler Perry and Byron Allen were recently trying to buy BET. Is that what you're talking about? But I know back in the day when Bob Johnson was around. I don't think so. But good point. I think it was Byron and dude from Atlanta, Tyler Perry. So 833-212-1017 is the number. Pat, you're on the award-winning 1017 The Truth.
Hey, Dr. Ken. This is my first time calling. How you doing?
I'm doing wonderful. How are you?
Oh, I'm good. I was planning on, I'm just now learning about tariffs and all of those things. I just learned that it's been going on for us in the United States.
Correct.
And what I'm thinking right now is that I'm going to save money during this time. I'm going to watch my money, eat at home, eat reasonably, buy reasonably, and then possibly I'm thinking of taking a class on finances so that I can not only teach my kids, but maybe put some money somewhere where I can grow some money, like in a Roth RIA.
A Roth IRA,
like that. So
right?
Yes. I think that it's now time for us to do those things instead of complaining and saying, hey, because we can't stop it. So we might as well turn it over, make lemonade, make lemonade out of lemon.
There you go. So let me make a suggestion. Let me make a suggestion.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
What I would suggest is that you pick up the phone and call Educators Credit Union. They have free personal resources that can help you understand all that stuff. Everything from checking and savings to a market and loans and cars and all that stuff. They got all that stuff, and it's free. You can go in and say, now watch this. Tell them Dr. Ken Harris sent you and said, I'm here to find out. Because what happens is that's a good place to start, right? It's a credit union, so they're not driven by profit. They have members, not like clients. They're not there to make a profit and fee you to death. They're there to help. So that's where I would start. I'm going to make that suggestion. And I support them. I have accounts there. And they're a sponsor of the show. Okay. So there you go.
Okay, well, thank you very much for that.
All right.
Have a great day.
All right. And that's why we have the truth. That's why. George went on the ad. I was going to bring it home. It would have taken 5 minutes, and you call people stupid and idiots all the time. I've never called anybody. I don't recall calling anybody an idiot. I know I say things are stupid or things you do might be stupid, right? Because I've done stupid things, but that doesn't mean you're stupid. I've never called a person, you're stupid. And if I did, hey, I'm wrong. But I've never called I said something you're doing is stupid. Why? And I always explain that some of the things I've done have been stupid. But that doesn't make me stupid. You called me an idiot directly. I've never called you an idiot. I've never said you were stupid. I've never called you out of your name. You did. I'm just saying. 833-212-1017 is the number. And it's a talk show. So talk. Let me check this talk and text line because y'all blowing the thing up. Y'all got me running late. Somebody said, "Serious, Dr. Kid." Now, okay, yeah, they came in way on the late show. It was just a heated moment. I'm not bothered. Like, stop. Like, calm. Take a deep breath. Take a deep breath. I'm not sure I missed. Yeah. You know, I don't know why they be on here, right? You know why? Because they talk to each other. Do y'all be listening to the show? Like, y'all in the chat and y'all talking to each other. I tell you, no love.
Don't touch that dial. More of Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris is next on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Truth Nation, it's your boy Tory Lowe, and I need to let you know the award-winning Tory Lowe Show can now be streamed live on YouTube every day from 1 to 4. I am now bringing all the smoke on YouTube every single weekday. I need you to go to YouTube right now and subscribe to 1017 The Truth and check out the award-winning Tory Lowe Show live every afternoon. Milwaukee Black Talk is now streaming live on YouTube. Now that's powerful.
All you have is one chance after an accident, one decision on who to call, one shot to get the help you need. Don't waste it on the one offer you get from your insurance company. Make the one call to Gruber Law Offices. It's the only one you'll need to make. Call us today. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
We Energies want you to keep this important safety message in mind. Before you start digging, planting, or landscaping on your property, call 811 to have underground utilities marked. Calling 811 at least 3 business days before you plan to dig will help you know what's below and can prevent a hazardous situation. Our representatives will mark the underground utilities on your property for free. So remember, stay safe and call before you dig.
We Energies. People you can trust. Energy you can depend on.
Ever had a question about local services, neighborhood events, civic engagement, or ways to get more involved in the community and just didn't know who to ask? That's where 1MKE comes in. 1MKE is a nonpartisan coalition helping Milwaukee residents to find trusted information and easy opportunities to get civically engaged. Want to plug into a neighborhood event, find community services, give back through volunteering? 1MKE is here to help. Learn more and get involved at 1mke.org. That is 1mke.org. We are 1MKE.
This is Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
You're listening to Truth in It. Hey. Sorry, I had to have a flashback from can have a piece of my love. Yeah. 833-212-1017 is the number. G, you're on the award-winning 1017 The Truth.
Good afternoon, Dr. Ken. Thanks for taking my call.
Sorry for taking so long. I had to have a flashback. You know, he had to play that song.
Right.
And it just, yeah.
Sounds good to me. Talk radio is entertainment for me. It's also educational, and that's why I love it. I don't know Brother George, but I think he's a really nice guy because I hear him call on the show before. He may, kind of got frustrated, but I know you. He probably shouldn't have said what he said, but I think George is a nice guy. The comment that I wanted to make is Trump came into office promising to bring down prices or whatever day one, and we just came out of a situation with COVID. With 2020, when everything was, prices were sky high, and corporations were jacking the prices up, gas prices and everything, and Biden and Harris tried to do what they could to try to stabilize the economy. So now when Trump gets back in office, now we just came out of this situation in 2020,
right?
And he increases these tariffs 25, 30% or whatever, all across the board to all the other countries.
It was only 10% for most of them. It was only 10%. But
I thought it was 25. I may be mistaken.
Some were 25. I think China's 50%. They're trying to do. Yeah.
But like I know people that are doing 401ks or deferred comp or whatever, and they're losing like $20,000, $25,000, $30,000.
Right.
And that's their hard-earned money as well. And I know when you're investing, you take that. It's kind of a risk or whatever. Nothing's guaranteed. But at this particular time, coming out of 2020, and with those tariffs, it's just a bad time to start doing something like that.
So when do we fix it? So, like, when do we fix it? When everybody's happy? Or when, like...
It never should have happened.
You have to do it. You have to. Or else you're going to continue to lose money and your deficit's going to go up if you understand anything.
Well, what happened in 1929...
But we're not talking about 29. We ain't going to history.
Okay. People are fearful right now, so they may be pulling their money out.
Most of the people that are alive today weren't alive in 2020 and 1929.
I'm talking about right now. I know people that they're changing their from being more aggressive to kind of a passive thing, and people are not gonna spend money like they normally would, which is going to hurt the economy. And people that don't have it, well, that's always been.
But we knew that going in, and eventually the economy wouldn't be able to stand up because.
We didn't know that going in.
Yeah, we did.
Trump didn't. No, he just announced those tariffs recently.
It's not Trump's job to tell us that. But if you understand how,
what do you mean, Dr. Ken? It's not his job to tell us.
If you understand how the market works, not what Donald Trump does, what the government does, and what they decide, and all that is one thing. But you have to understand for you how you're going to interface with the market. And so some people understand it enough that we've always had tariffs. Right. So this weird thing that people think these things came out of the blue shows that a lot of people do not understand the market. And that's my issue.
Why are other countries, I know maybe China has been taking advantage of America, but now Canada Mexico,
has always taken advantage of us. Mexico has always taken advantage of us. England, Germany, Lithuania.
But has that changed anything?
Yes, it did.
They're increasing their own tariffs in America now.
Yes, it did. Here's what
but they're increasing their tariffs.
Let me ask you a question.
Okay.
Because now we're forcing them to come to the table. Forget Donald Trump. We're forcing them to come to the table to say this needs to be reasonable because over the last X amount of years, we've put tens of billions of dollars into your country, and you won't let us sell anything in yours. Did you know that you can't sell a car in Japan? You cannot buy an American-made car in Japan at all. But how many Japanese-made cars you have here? How many Korean-made cars you have here? Honda, Mitsubishi.
Right.
Listen to what I'm saying. Can we balance that?
I'm listening.
Can we make it? Now, I was just using it as a euphemism.
Right.
Can we make it fair?
Right.
That's all we need to do. Biden should have did it. Obama should have did it. Clinton should have did it. Bush should have did it. None of them did it because the companies were making too much money and shipping what they make overseas. That's why American-made cars get made in Canada and Mexico instead of paying hardworking Americans here in a union to make those cars because it was cheaper. So
why is Wall Street panicking right now?
They're not panicking.
And the stocks are going down.
They're not panicking. People are selling because some of the people that don't understand want to get out of the market. And that's perfect. But you have to do that. But you have to. The market's not going to stay up all the time. At some point, it's going to go down, and you buy in. And
thousands of points, though, yes. Dr. King. It's dropping thousands of points. Not like
it's only been down 12%. COVID, it was down 34%. And for the dot-com bubble, it went down 50%. So come on.
Yeah. So how long do we hold on for year 2 or year 3 of his presidency?
I don't care what his presidency is. Just
struggling.
like I said before, somebody's going to always struggle. It's not going to be great for everybody all the time. I'm just being real. I'm just being real. It's not going to be good. It wasn't always good for me all the time. I struggled like everybody else. Had to make ends meet, too much month left over at the end of my money. So now, I got 2 jobs. I got this. Help those that you can, help your family first, and give. And that's it. And that's all you can do. But to blame somebody else for something that if I didn't save for my family and if I didn't save and get a pension and invest for myself and buy my own house and take care of my family, that's nobody else's fault, no matter what market is in. Because he going to be gone. He going to leave. And then and it wasn't better under Biden.
It was getting better under Biden, not like it is now. It was getting better because we just came out of COVID, Dr. King, and you know how things were then. You know.
When I say it wasn't getting better, and I only got like 20 seconds. When I say it wasn't getting better under Biden, I mean we weren't making more money. Income was still. You realize in the last 50 years, income's only went up 35%. That's crazy.
Well, they're really not going to go up now.
But we don't know that. You don't know the future. I don't know the future. You don't know.
Well, right now anyway, we can kind of see. Thank you, Dr. King.
Hold on or hang on or what?
I'll let someone else get in. I'll continue to listen. Thank you.
All right, appreciate it, brother.
All right, take care.
Milwaukee Black Talk.
You don't want to be there. You don't like the work. You don't like the people. Now, there are some differences. The only difference is modern American slavery and capitalism versus 19th century. We were dramatically more primitive back then. And a slave that is able to buy their freedom is the same as the disaffected, disgruntled worker that is able to buy their way into entrepreneurship because that for them is free.
Listen to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes weekdays from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m.
Get the beat of the Bucks straight from a fan favorite and Bucks legend.
Welcome to the fantastic voyage. Marcus Johnson, the captain of this vessel.
Tap into Here District with Marcus Johnson, a Bucks Plus audio production.
My first mate, Chris Johnson, the only father and son tandem.
Your weekly pulse on the Milwaukee Bucks and conversations with the biggest names in basketball. This week on the pod, Marcus and Chris are joined by former NBA All-Star Baron Davis. Find Here District now on Bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, or wherever you get your podcast.
Teachers are dynamic leaders, shaping a new generation. They bring a variety of perspectives from diverse backgrounds, innovating how they teach to prepare students for our fast-changing world. Achieving this takes skill and expertise. They're tireless explorers, creatively discovering a universe of solutions, telling stories, experimenting, inspiring, mentoring, connecting cultures, and connecting with each other. Leading by example. Experience the unique joy of helping students thrive. Teaching is a journey that shapes lives. Are you ready to begin? Explore teaching at teach.org, a campaign supported by the U.S. Department of Education, Teach.org, and 1 million teachers of color.
You said you'd never buy your kid candy from the checkout aisle. Or forget extra diapers. And never give in to a meltdown. never lick your thumb to clean their face. Never let them have too much screen time. And never bribe them for just one more bite. You say you'd never let them out in public without their hair brushed. Never, ever become a minivan mom. And you'd never give them your phone for a quiet dinner.
Calling boss work phone.
So when you say you'd never leave your child in a hot car, no, it can happen. Cars get hot fast, and kids can be at risk in temperatures as low as 60 degrees Fahrenheit. Never happens. Before you leave the car, always stop, look, lock. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
You're listening to the new 1017 The Truth, founded in partnership with Associated Bank. Your money works here. 1017 FM, 1510 AM, WGKB Waukesha, and W269DL Milwaukee, a locally owned Good Karma brand station. Bringing you his authentic perspectives on important topics.
They live in suburbs together. They live in the city together. They hang out together, all in the same family. We're the only idiots that fight because we want our voice to only be on one side. Like, does that even make any sense? And when the side loses, you lose everything. They, on the other hand, have a voice no matter what because somebody that looks like them is always in control.
Frank, candid, and straight to the point.
Well, it's just a skewed system.
Of course it is.
It's a lot of judgment.
But answer my question, though. Should we let people go? Should we let people go? Like, let's just forget about bail altogether. And if your neighbor commits a homicide and kills people up, if you kill people and they next to you and you just let them come back and live right next to you, they can live upstairs from you. Let them come in your house.
Frank, candid, and straight to the point. This is the best radio show in the state of Wisconsin. Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth and the Truth app.
Now, he's the mayor of the city of Milwaukee. He's a young man. Give him a chance. I only complain about things that I care about. What I want you to do is pretend like I'm in St. Louis. And all I'm asking the mayor and the Common Council president and the Common Council, show me.
Now, live from the American Family Insurance Studio at the Avenue in the heart of downtown Milwaukee, here is Dr. Ken Harris.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. 833-212-1017 is the number. Lana Banana, you are wrong. Every day is not pop off. Every other day is pop off. Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Oh, wait. Today is Monday. Make sure you hang around in the 6 o'clock in the 6 o'clock hour when Truth Unfiltered. Hang on a second. No Truth Unfiltered? Why not? But I just said it's Monday. And at 6 o'clock, Truth Unfiltered. You just wanted to mess with me. Excuse me, y'all. Can you play some music while I go in and kick the living foo-foo out of here? Bam! Okay. Being all silly. Even got DJ Brother Z popping off today. Telling you. What? Really, dude? Turn that off. Really? Turn that off. Turn it off. Turn it off. Does that sound right? Like, turn it off. Why you so mean to me, Glenn? I don't know. What I do to you, man? What I do? What I do? Oh, he did it? Oh, you doing what all the kids did, right? Oh, it was him. He did. Yes, we're here having fun. Oh, my goodness. Stop. We are having a lot of fun. 833. Cleanup is this weekend, right? Cleanup is going on this weekend. Don't be putting Tory picture on my break when I break. Just sign up. Just go to the website, sign up, and show up. All right? Because if you don't, it's going to be on. But, you know, we got the cleanup coming this weekend. 833-212-1017 is the number. You know, there are times in everyone's life, and I was talking to, I think, Pat earlier. Life can toss you a curveball. And so, Pat, if you're still listening, you want to do some things and you want to invest and you're kind of scared about tariffs and you think all those things are going to be happening. You have to readjust, realign, rededicate your resources. Or you may just not have any resources and you want to figure out how to get the resources to make things better. Sometimes you know what to do. Like I told you about Educators Credit Union. But many times, like it was with me, I didn't know what to do. It's the first time I'd ever faced an issue. Because when it's financial, not everybody shares things financial. Isn't it amazing? People share about everything, their house, their car, how to do this, how to do that. But when it comes to finances, nobody talks. For the last couple of decades, I've been able to turn to Educators Credit Union. I had a financial issue that involved another family member, and I was able to go in and get advice and a plan, just like I told Pat to do. Just go in, sit down with them. They have free resources. They can sit down and go through all that stuff. I'm here to tell you today it worked. At Educators, our members are our purpose. As a credit union, we're not concerned about profits or the bottom line of shareholders. The greatest reward you can get, the greatest reward for them, is you achieving your financial dreams through lower rates and access to free financial services. Experience more heart, less hassle by making the switch today. Achieve more at ECU.com. That's ECU.com. Insured by NCUA. Membership eligibility is required. Lana Banana says, is this a commercial? No, it's both. Like I'm literally talking about something and someone who's a sponsor because they actually do what they say they do. And I was telling the caller earlier that she wanted to figure out where to put her money and how to invest and just how to save and all that. And I said, just go to Educators Credit Union and sign up and, talk to them. They got free things. So even if you're not eligible, they've got processes that can put you in line to figure out how to become eligible and then be eligible. You got access to car loans, a credit card, a debit card, mortgage, all sorts of things like that. So make sure you go check them out. ECU.com. Mike, you're on the award-winning 101.7 The Truth.
How you doing, Dr. Ken?
How are you?
I'm doing well. People need to just calm down and stop panicking. All that listening to Fox News and all this stuff about the terrorists. Terrorists always been around. All Trump is trying to do is make it an even playing field.
Right.
That's all he's trying to do. Because people got to realize he's trying to pull away from the EU because the United States is putting the most money into the EU. When all these war campaigns come up, who's always leading the charge? It's the United States. So Trump is at the point like, hey, if you want us to participate, y'all got to put in the fair share. Y'all got to do y'all fair share.
Yeah.
The money and the muscle. If you want us to be a part of it. And some people don't understand that.
So why is it
with the stock market?
Why is it you think people don't understand that?
I don't know. I guess they don't take time to look at history and study and find out, hey, what's what. Because I'm a research everything. So I know. I've been in the military. I know what goes on.
All right.
And people with the stock market, people selling off. You buy the dip. Don't panic. I mean, everybody else panic. You buy the dip. You buy it at a cheaper price. Because like you said, the market not going to be down for long. So when people panic, you buy the dip. XRP, you buy the dip. You get your ETFs in order. It's like you get more income when people start talking about recessions and things like that. You start looking at buying more ETF stocks.
Well, that's what you did. We can't give like financial advice on the radio, but I get what you're saying.
Okay, I'm just saying that's what I did, and I started like $20 a week, $30 a week. It wasn't a lot. It don't take a lot, like people think. But that's what I did, and it's working out for me. But as far as the tariffs is going to make everybody come to the table and renegotiate terms. And in the long run, it's going to be better for America because you already got car company scrambling, trying to get their trying to way around the tariffs, and they're moving their factories back over here.
Right. And you saw today steel went up because they need to buy their steel from America. They're not going to buy it from other countries that are cheaper. So the price of steel is going to eventually come down because everybody uses it.
Yeah, exactly. Even with OPEC, when Trump said, hey, we finna start drilling
right
in Alaska. OPEC got upset. They know what's gonna happen when we flood the market with oil. They know what's gonna happen.
It's gonna get cheap.
Yeah, so pretty much we're cutting out the middleman. If we can make it and produce it ourselves in the United States, that's what we're gonna do. So Trump he talks and his actions are more like a nationalist.
Okay.
He's finna cut out the middleman. He's finna cut out these other countries. Hey, we finna do it ourselves.
Like we used to do.
Exactly. And like China been doing it the whole time. They try to do everything in country.
Well, that's where we buy a lot of our stuff, though, from, in country, in China.
Yeah. But, they're upset because Taiwan's going to give us the semiconductors and the chips. So they're upset with Taiwan big time.
So very true.
And that right there going to put the AI market in the chokehold, and we going to have it. And China know whoever control the semiconductors and the chips and the rare earth minerals, hey, they're going to have the AI technology on lock. And China can't stand it.
Yep. All right. Well, thank you much. I appreciate it, Mike.
All right. Thank you.
Take care. 833-212-1017 is the number. That's Mike's stake, right? Former military. That's how he does it. And so many times, many people tell you, don't panic. Like, literally, don't panic. Although, Bitcoin's taking a beating. I'm not invested in Bitcoin, so I don't have that problem. I could afford like a third of a tenth of 1% of Bitcoin. Like one Bitcoin is like what, $70,000 or something. Yeah. What are you going to do today, Johnny? I don't know. Buy Bitcoin or buy a house? Like I don't get it.
Number 5.
From CBS 58, the Supreme Court pauses the midnight deadline to return the man mistakenly deported to El Salvador. The Supreme Court on today temporarily paused the court-imposed midnight deadline to return to the U.S., a Maryland man who had been mistakenly deported to El Salvador, agreeing to a request from President Donald Trump that will give the justices more time to reconsider. Chief Justice John Roberts granted the administrative stay, a move that will extend the deadline until the court hands down a more fulsome decision in the case of Mr. Garcia, who was deported on March 15th. So Mr. Garcia had shown that he was actually one of those people who, had he been returned back there, he would be killed. And he had shown, and the administrative law judge for immigration said, yes, I see this, and you have proven that you do have these issues, and so we are going to allow you to stay in America, only to find out later that the Trump administration picks him up and ships him back down. He should not have been shipped back down. He should not have been sent back to El Salvador, and that was a mistake, and hopefully the U.S. Supreme Court will tell Trump, not Trump, but the Attorney General, after looking at the information, that he needs to come back here, because he did prove that he actually, had he got sent back there, he would be killed. So that's unfortunate. It's wrong. We should, take a look at the ICE agents that did that and what information they didn't take into account. And just because somebody was here and the courts gave him the ability to be here, just because you don't want him here, doesn't mean he has to go.
Number 4.
From Fox6Now.com, a Milwaukee man who was accused of neglecting 2 children who were found naked and bloody running down the street was sentenced today to 10 years in prison, an additional 10 years of extended supervision in connection with the 2023 case of chronic child neglect. Now, if you remember, this was on Milwaukee's west side. Before Joe Mankey was sentenced today, he entered guilty pleas to 2 charges of chronic neglect of a child. 2 charges of false imprisonment were dismissed and read into the court record for the purpose of sentencing. So what do we know? Remember this? Katie Koch, Katie Koch, K-O-C-H. Police responded to 71st and Stevenson on July 13th. Criminal complaint says officers learned from neighbors 2 kids are walking around naked with blood on them. Police made contact with Koch, who was on the phone with a man asking if he was almost home so he could help explain what's going on. Court filing said the home was uninhabitable. Horrible, hoarding conditions. 7-year-old was found naked with red marks on him. Complaint said Koch told police both children, 7 and 9, had broken a window and ran away, but police didn't find lacerations indicative of cuts from broken glass. A neighbor told investigators they saw the children break the window and run from the home, and while police were at the house, Koch denied abusing the children, grabbing clothing for them, telling officers, I'm so sorry, I'm so afraid. Police found trash, garbage, the smell of urine and feces throughout the home, and the complaint said there was feces smeared on the walls of the children's room and a latch on the outside of their door. Koch said it was not just feces, but it was clay paint and chocolate that smelled like feces, right? The complaint said Koch arrived shortly there. Mankey arrived, the guy that got sentenced today, arrived shortly thereafter. Prosecutors said he admitted to putting boards on the windows to keep the children from bothering the noisy neighbors. The nosy neighbors, huh? A latch on the door to lock the kids in the room overnight to keep them from wandering due to their autism. Right. Said they were homeschooled, all kind of stuff. So basically they just told, a series of lies. Koch was sentenced in February of 2024 to 10 years in prison, 10 years extended supervision. She also pled guilty to her charges. What do you say to that? What do you say to a person that treats children like that? I guess you can say, couldn't happen to a nicer person.
Number 3.
From Fox 6 Now, also, Milwaukee Public School family said they're frustrated with the district after police arrested a 13-year-old who brought a loaded gun to school last Thursday. According to the Milwaukee Police Department, officers arrested a 13-year-old who brought a loaded gun to the Milwaukee School of Languages. Charges also were referred to the Milwaukee County District Attorney's Office. MPS said the weapon was found after another student informed staff, and Milwaukee police were called immediately, and the student who brought the gun was arrested. No one was physically harmed. So, families say they're angry with how they were notified about the weapon. MPS told Fox 6 News they reached out to parents last Thursday when the gun was found, but parents and students said they feel they should have done more. Parent Brian Eisel said, I don't trust the district. I don't trust the school. I want to know what's going on. It's how the Eisels found out and the district response that's not sitting well with them. Student Rowan Eisel said, I think I heard amongst some of my friends at school. Brian Eisen said his son called him and told him. Then he saw the email from the district. It said staff acted quickly after responding to a report of an inappropriate item found in the school. The inappropriate item, so anything from a what? This is what Brian Eisel said. Anything from a whoopee cushion to an apparent loaded weapon is an inappropriate item. They didn't make any announcements, no code reds, code yellow, nothing. The next day, MPS sent families a more detailed email that highlighted the loaded weapon, which said no one was hurt and staff is working with police. Some children also staged a walkout on Friday. Rowan Eisel said, I just want a change, any change, like implementing more safety measures and protocols. You would think that immediately upon finding a loaded gun, you'd lock everything down. Call the police, notify the parents. With the amount of violence and craziness in our schools, they would need to do better. Well, one thing you have to look at is this. When you found the gun and you got the gun, at what point do you lock down everything after the gun was found? You already have it. You check the schools. All the teachers check their rooms, so there's no apparent issues. So now, what are we locking down? They called the police. They sent the email notifying them. If they had sent an email saying that they found a gun in the school before they investigated fully and got everything, all heck would have broke out. Parents would have stormed the school, kicking in doors and finding their kids, and then you would have caused more issues. But now you're saying because they did it the way they were supposed to do it, you're mad that they didn't do it your way. NPS spokesperson told Fox 6 News on last Friday that the first thing the district does when something like this happens is to send a message to parents with the promise and intent to update when they get confirmation of what's actually going on. So you want incomplete information that's going to give you an incomplete response, which is then going to make your imagination run wild. And then the next thing you know, all heck is breaking loose because now you're trying to kick in the school and kick in the door because you want your children safe. I don't know.
Number 2.
This from CNN.com. U.S. stocks mostly fell after an extremely volatile day, tumbling, surging, and then bouncing around in every direction as traders search for any sign that President Donald Trump's tariffs could be negotiated or halted. Markets around the world had tumbled earlier in the day over concerns about how Trump's sweeping tariffs upend the global economy and stymie economic growth. U.S. stocks opened the day in bear market territory, but surged an hour later on rumors that the Trump administration may pause tariffs, perhaps for several months. That rumor turned out to be what? Just that. A White House official called any suggestion that Trump would pause tariffs fake news and desperate signs that some trading partners, including the EU, might be willing to negotiate with Trump. The president dashed those detente hopes when he said he could slap another 50% on China. And just like that, the Dow, which had been up 900 points, went back down again. After a roller coaster day, it closed down 349 points or 0.91%. The broader S&P 500 fell 0.23%. NASDAQ Composite 0.1% higher after fluctuating, gaining and losing and gaining. And it's a wild market, and it's going to be that way for a little bit. It's going to be that way, and we talked about that. It's going to be that way for a little bit. It's not an instant fix. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care who came in. You can't instantly fix prices. You can't instantly fix the market. You just can't. If you understand about it, you can't make a company charge less unless there's an emergency and FEMA has to come in and all that stuff, and then they say it, right? Like when the Flint, Michigan, when the water crisis hit. What they were able to do is to go in and tell them around there, hey, it's against the law. And then Michigan put in a law, an emergency law that said if you raise your prices, yeah, you're going to jail. You're going to get a fine. You're going to get this. You're going to get that. And so those types of things level off the market. But it's an open market. If they want to raise the price, it's really hard to do it unless it's an emergency. So we got to be cognizant of that. And I think we need more classes that talk about how the market works and how one thing affects it and how other things can affect it, because we really need to understand and know that those types of things happen. I'm just saying.
Number 1.
So there's a story from Texas that kind of disturbed me, and I thought I'd want to talk about it before we go to break. So everybody's going after this female CEO in Texas. So here's the deal. A female CEO has claimed that a boy who fatally stabbed another person at a track meet was bullying the person that's accused of killing him. Stephanie Crutchfield, the owner and CEO of several financial help businesses, left the claim on the donation page for Carmelo, with a K, Anthony, who is charged with murder of Austin Metcalf, 17, at Kirkendall Stadium in Frisco. She wrote, Let's get this baby home. I have a black son as well, and I live in Collin County. This baby was bullied and was defending himself. I know it's more to this story. I'm praying for you and your family. Please let me know what else I can help. So this is on Daily Mail. It's a United Kingdom, Great Britain, England, over in there. And so they wrote the story. They got the picture of the black kid that stabbed the white kid. And one of the things they're saying is there's no evidence Metcalf was bullying Anthony. Police said Anthony stabbed him in the heart, killing him after Metcalf told him he was sitting in the wrong chair at the matchup between their two schools last week. Crutchfield, the woman, donated $1,000 to Anthony, later doubled down on her support, saying, no, I don't agree with what he did, but it's more to this story. This kid had a good future ahead of him, and he deserves a great defense attorney. Now, I can't fathom anybody in the world, except the family of the guy that got killed, the young man that got killed, the 17-year-old, having an issue with what she said. Everybody in America deserves defense, whether they're guilty or not, whether they admit it or not. The donation page for the kid that killed the other kid, right? Carmelo Anthony stabbed Austin Metcalf, is at $170,000 as of this afternoon. Everybody is screaming and hollering, oh my gosh, it's terrible. Everybody screams and hollers, it's terrible. Well, are you screaming and hollering because it's a black kid that stabbed the white kid? Is it just a black kid that stabbed somebody? Is it one kid stabbed another? Like, what is your reasoning for being upset about the fact that somebody has $170,000 for the defense of this kid? You know who Luigi Mangione is? You know, the U.S. Attorney General that just asked for the death penalty for Luigi Mangione, who killed the president of United Healthcare, the CEO? Anybody? See, because one of the funny things about it is the one thing that we never heard, it was in the New York Post though, but it wasn't in major news, that Luigi Mangione's defense fund has over $500,000 in it. And I'm going out on a limb that a lot of black people didn't give money to Luigi Mangione. Over $1.5 million for killing United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson. $514,500, that was February 15th of this year. They want to raise $1 million. So when you have the audacity to complain that a young black kid who's getting donations for his defense, as he deserves, just like Luigi Mangione, even though we know he did it, we know this kid did it, they don't deserve. You're actually calling into question $170,000 and trying to call out the black woman that gave the money when all these white people all over the country and the world gave money to Luigi Mangione, offers of marriage, all kind of idiocy like that. Why? Because he shot somebody in the back. And you have the audacity to say, oh, that's okay. Matter of fact, we won't mention the $500,000. We won't mention that he has over $500,000, over $500,000 in an account for his defense. And you want to question $170,000 for this black kid in Texas. I don't care what anybody says. I'm going to say it. That's stupid.
Don't touch that dial. More of Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris is next on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
This may be another Elon Musk bureaucratic shuffle, or this may be whatever it is. These, Dr. Ken, are real consequences.
This is The Truth Unfiltered with Denise Thomas and Dr. Ken Harris.
I believe that there's going to be a step back and a rollback to some of those places that we're talking about making cuts because of the drastic outcome that can occur.
Sundays starting at 7 on 620 WTMJ and Mondays at 6 on 1017 The Truth.
Ready to buy your first house, move into your forever home, or simply refinance? At Associated Bank, they've got you. With the right lending plan and guidance, you can achieve your dreams. Your financial goals are closer than you think, and Associated Bank is excited to help you reach them. Learn more at associatedbank.com/lending or ask a banker for details. Subject to credit approval, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Want to help build a better Milwaukee? 1MKE is a nonpartisan coalition of over 70 community partners making it easier to plug in to what matters. From local services that can save you time and money, to events that build community, to voting resources to ensure your voice is heard. Whether you're new to civic engagement or ready to level up your impact, there's a place for you at 1MKE. Learn more, get involved at 1mke.org. That's 1mke.org. We are 1MKE.
This is your Planned Parenthood Advocates of Wisconsin Minute.
So, Black women's leadership needs to be prioritized. That means a whole lot of things, but it includes a message for white women, which would be, it'll be wise for you to take our lead. We've already demonstrated everything there is to the world about who we are. We shouldn't have to keep doing that over and over again. The reality is that there are times when we got to muster up the energy to do some things we don't want to do, but I don't want that to be commonplace for me, and I certainly don't want it to be commonplace for other Black women. There's often this message that we need to stay strong because there are people depending on it. No, we need ourselves.
Yeah, you can't, what do they say? You can't pour from an empty cup?
Yes. And I even am hearing people say a lot more, you shouldn't pour from your cup at all until it overflows. And it's the overflow that you give. You keep the full cup for yourself.
This has been your Planned Parenthood Advocates of Wisconsin Minute. This is Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. 833-212-1017 is the number. I don't even know where I was. I had so much stuff up here, doing so much stuff. It's just land of banana. You're on the award-winning 1017 The Truth.
Ken Harris.
What's wrong with you?
How you doing?
What's going on?
Who, me? Oh, okay. See, Dr. Ken Harris, what gets me is that I was listening to Kyle Wallace, Truth to Power Friday, and he said that the black young man was sitting at a table
right.
that the track team had a reserve for them.
Right.
And so the white boy told the black boy, "Get up. This is our table," instead of asking him. You know what I'm saying? So he said, and I heard the black boy said, "Don't touch me," or something like that. And then he grabbed the backpack of the black young man, and the black young man stabbed him.
Okay.
That's what I heard. What happened?
All right.
But see, what gets me, Dr. Ken Harris, is that I think that was New York when that Marine killed that black man with schizophrenia.
Okay. Right.
And he did Michael Jackson.
Right.
Now see, he wasn't even fighting the Marine. He had his back turned.
Had nothing to do with him, didn't threaten anybody, didn't have a weapon, and you decided to walk up behind him and grab him because people thought he was going to do something that he didn't do. And you killed him, and he walked.
And he didn't go
that is a travesty. That is a travesty.
See, that's what gets me, Dr. Ken Harris.
Yeah.
That's all I wanted to say.
He's a Marine. Thinking, what does that mean? Like, being a Marine doesn't mean you're above the law.
That's nothing. So.
But then when you say that, you're a hater. You hate the Marines. I don't hate the Marines. I just disagree with the fact that you can go to jail like everybody else.
Yeah, it's not like we're being haters. It's just that, you got to be accountable for all your actions. You can't have no excuse for anything because that promotes negativity, and that's going to encourage him to do more killing with black people who turn their backs to him who has a mental condition.
Right. Yep. Very true.
So we're not hating. The other people, they're hating on us because we're telling the truth now. Okay, that's all I wanted to say. I was just thinking about that. I don't think about that. It's not right. That's not right.
Well, thank you.
Because I wouldn't move either if he told me to move. I wouldn't either. Don't tell me to do something. You ask me.
But even if you ask me, well, wait a minute. But if you ask me and it's my table, I'm still saying no.
But the table was reserved for the track team, wasn't it?
I guess. I don't know any of the particulars other than what I read, and I'm sure the case is pending. And they probably have video. They probably got video.
It wasn't reserved because a black young man didn't even see a sign. If he saw a sign, I'm pretty sure he wouldn't have sat there. So whatever. I wouldn't have killed the white boy, but I would have, given him something to think about.
I would hope you wouldn't kill anybody.
No, no,
right.
I don't do that. I like to live. Okay, all right. Thank you. I just share that.
All right.
Yeah, bye.
Bye. I tell you. Whew, I'm scared of y'all. Let me check this talk and text line before I hang up. So, Dr. Ken, you think it's a good idea to give China 35% tariffs? No. I think it's good to give China 50% tariffs. So all the stuff we make over there, we can make over here, get people jobs, make it cheaper, and build up the economy here. That's what I think. We have to remember, China doesn't let anything from America come in there unless they're going to make it and ship it back for money. Think about what you're saying. Other countries will not let us sell our products in their country, like Japan. So let me throw this out there. No, I'm not a hater, and no, I'm not a racist. Maybe a little prejudice. Like everybody. Do you see Asian people in Wisconsin, and I'm being general because I don't know if they're Japanese or Korean, or do you see them driving cars from their country? New and used. They drive Mitsubishi, Honda, Toyota. I'm not mad. They're nationalists. I get it. They support their country. When they buy a new car, they buy a new car that was made in there, so the money goes back to their country. They don't buy anything. They don't let anything go into Japan at all. Same thing with China. All I'm saying, well, I guess they do in China because they wear blue jeans and stuff like that. But what I'm saying is, at some point, we have to be cognizant of that so that if we want people here to get money and jobs, we're going to have to create an instance where the jobs come back here. That makes no sense. You don't want cars here, but you don't want to make cars because of the environment? Okay, stop. That makes no sense. They're cleaner, they're more efficient. You can still make electric here. Like this, there's so many opportunities. But again, when you put your politics above what's going to be good for your children and your grandchildren, well, that's what you get. Money's green. Keep your politics to yourself. Who cares? Vote for who you want to vote for. Do what you want to do. Take care of family first. Extended family, neighborhood, community, however you want to put in order. But don't tell somebody else because they have an idea of what they want to do, they're wrong. They're just different. And this idea that everybody thinks the same way, does the same thing, wins the same way, that's socialism. That's how they did in Germany. That's how they do in Europe, in some places. And in the long run, it never wins. And that's what people don't understand. It never, ever wins. It's 101.7 The Truth. Dr. Ken Harris for Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. There's a lot of buzz going around about the draft, but you won't find one seeping through Pella's windows and doors. In fact, you should make Pella your number one pick because right now you can take advantage of no interest financing options or free glass upgrades. Their talented designers and installers can match your unique home through seamless customization. So it doesn't matter if you got a brand new house, doesn't matter if you've got a historic house that's brick, your house can look spectacular. Certain restrictions apply, and the deal ends April 30th, so place your free in-home consultation today at PellaWI.com. That's PellaWI.com. And now with 101.7 The Truth, Milwaukee Black Talk Traffic, here's Debbie Lazagat.
Well, westbound 94, we do have some delays from about 20th Street all the way to about Hawley Road. The eastbound side, not too bad, just a little slow right in the stadium interchange. Northbound 43 backing up from State all the way to Keefe. Southbound slowing down right through the Marquette and over the high-rise bridge. You're pretty much slow all the way down to the KK River. And then on southbound 41, we got delays between Silver Spring and Capitol Drive. And checking the TMJ for Storm King forecast tonight. Clearing skies, cold with a low of 22. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, a high of 39. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 101.7 The Truth.
Don't touch that dial. More of Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris is next on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Experience, knowledge, and results. That's what really matters when you need help after a serious truck accident. You'll need a lawyer experienced in fighting and winning for people just like you. Gruber Law Offices has the resources, strong track record of success, and a team of experienced lawyers to take care of your needs. We've successfully helped people injured in big truck accidents for more than 35 years. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
At U.S. Cellular, we believe loyalty is never a one-way street, so we love finding new ways to say thank you to our customers. This is why we're hosting Us Days again. It's our exclusive in-store event to celebrate you, our loyal customers, with unique offers for everyone. Visit our stores during Us Days until April 23rd to take advantage of offers up to $1,200 off of any smartphone and up to $500 off of any tablet. This is the perfect time to upgrade. Come into any U.S. Cellular store for more details. U.S. Cellular, built for us.
It's time for Truth Takes, a thought-provoking commentary on the award-winning 101.7 The Truth. Here is Carrie Noni with her truth.
You know, sometimes the mundane isn't a burden, it's the beauty of living. I came to this conclusion after recently watching the movie Subservience on Netflix. It's a crazy film, y'all. I would suggest you check it out. But it's a story that explores our relationship with technology and how it's programmed to take our burdens away. This movie really got me thinking about how much we're wired to avoid struggle. We create tools and shortcuts to make life easier, whether it's robots, apps, or even outsourcing everyday tasks. But in the process, we risk forgetting the value of the little things we go through every day. Sure, folding laundry or grocery shopping might feel like chores. I literally dread cleaning up. But isn't there something grounding about them? Something that reminds us we're human. Life isn't just about the highlights or the easy parts. It's about the messy, repetitive, and sometimes inconvenient stuff too. Think about it. Who would you be if you didn't have to face the small frustrations that test your patience, or the routines that push you to show up for yourself or the people around you? The mundane moments, the ones we rush to escape, are often the ones that shape us. If life was nothing but convenience, where's the growth? Where's the grit that teaches us resilience? And most importantly, where's the appreciation for the moments that do take our breath away? So maybe the next time you find yourself annoyed by the daily grind and are on the brink of crashing out, you pause, you breathe, and remind yourself that the beauty of life isn't just in the big moments, but in every little thing that makes them possible.
This has been Truth Takes on the award-winning 101.7 The Truth. Listen to Jammin' with Juice with Ben Jammin' and Carrie Noni weekdays from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m.
This is Associated Bank Sports Update on 101.7 The Truth. Is powered by ESPN Milwaukee. I'm Brandon Snide. The Milwaukee Brewers wrapped up their 7-game homestand with an 8-2 win over the Reds on Sunday, thanks in large part to not one, but two Jackson Chourio home runs.
1-1 pitch is a high fly ball, deep left field, bye-bye baseball. Chourio's done it again. A solo shot, and he's driven in 5 this afternoon.
Next up for the Brewers is the Rockies out in Colorado on Tuesday. And lastly, we head over to the NBA where no Giannis, no Dame, but nonetheless, the Bucks getting the 111-107 win in New Orleans. Gary Trent Jr. leading the way with 29 points. Kevin Porter Jr. added 20. And next up for the 44-34 Bucks is the Minnesota Timberwolves on Tuesday night in Milwaukee. This Sports Update brought to you by Associated Bank, proudly supporting your hometown teams. Member FDIC.
This is Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. 833-212-1017 is the number. I've never caught. I love it. I love it. I love it. This is 70. Ann says 70 countries have agreed to come to the table already. That is true. Then it said, George said, you are correct. You never called me an idiot. I was saying that you say that about other people. No, I call things other people say and do stupid. Just like things I call and I say that are stupid. I guess I will stop listening so I won't get so frustrated. If you don't know the past, it can come back and bite you. And that's what he's doing, MAGA. It might not be toughing you now, but it will. Oh, so you know the markets better than anybody else, and you know the future better than anybody else. Okay. All right. I'm not dismissing what you're saying. I'm saying that nobody knows, number one. Number two, you have to admit you just don't like Donald Trump. And somehow you always have to twist something to bring up Donald Trump. You do understand that's why the Democratic Party lost. What's the solution? Exactly. The solution is nobody has one. And we're waiting for the Democratic Party to come up with one, and they don't have one. They'll continue to bash Trump. They'll continue to bash Trump to win the last presidential election. They bashed Trump. Did they win? No. So now you continue to do the same thing over and over? That just makes no sense. That is insanity. But I guess that's okay. And no, don't call at 6 because I won't be here. Wayne said, nostalgia is the leading cause of sound strategy. America was once manufacturing, now it's innovation, and unless there is no growth in living in the past, that has always been the case. I don't understand this. Let me read. Dr. Nostalgia is the leading cause of sound strategy. Okay. America's super was once manufacturing, now it's innovation and intellect. However, we still need to bring manufacturing back because the costs are getting too high. And I don't know if innovation and intelligence is going to pay for the high costs. It's kind of, you know what I'm saying? So there is no growth. I think you meant there's no growth in living in the past. That's true. That's true. That, and for me, that 10-year period is about the time that, you know, that I look at to see what's going to happen. Dr. Ken, I don't understand about the economy. This is from Mari. I'm trying to understand and keep my feelings out. I want to know what we do in the meantime while the infrastructure and resources are ready to increase production here. There's a process and will take time. And will people be able to afford the goods made here? Not arguing, not just trying to say. I think that over time they'll be able to. I think what we think might take 10 years will probably take 3 to 4 to 5 years. The change has to happen fairly rapidly because we have to retool, right? So there's a lot of, on the Rust Belt, there's a lot of manufacturing places that when people popped up and left, they were left there just sitting. So the retooling, I don't think will take as long as people think it will because many of those places are still there. Some of those manufacturing things are still there. And if anybody was smart enough, they would know you don't throw everything away and get rid of everything because nothing is new under the sun. Manufacturing will come back. Will it come back the way it did before? Absolutely not. We have too many efficiencies. But for the most part, we have it. Let me squeeze her in. Sandra, you're on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. I got about a minute. What's going on?
I know. Squeeze me in, Dr. Ken.
You in?
Yeah. Okay. Now, you were talking about manufacturing. I mean, you don't think the machine's going to be automated?
No. Some things you can't automate. Some things you have to check and double check. Some things you're going to have to be able to work with. All automation does is builds it faster, but somebody has to do quality control. Somebody has to make sure the materials are there. Like, those things don't happen by themselves. They don't happen in a vacuum. It'll just free you up to do more stuff. Will there be a reduction?
Well, you won't need as many people, though, what I'm saying.
Correct.
You won't need as many people.
Well, we don't have that many people because wasn't that many people born to begin with. So it's not like it's going to be this... It's not the baby boomer generation. It's not the silent generation. It's a lot of people that weren't born.
What about all these jobs that's being shut down? I mean, that's a lot of people. How are they going to place all of them?
What jobs are going to be shut down?
You know, the ones that got kicked out of office, the CDC, all of that. They shut that stuff down up there in the government.
Yeah.
All those people that got lost jobs. Well, how are they going to place them?
Well, same way that they place people that get fired from Northwestern Mutual or laid off from Rockwell International, they got to fend for themselves, just like we have to when we get let go.
Yeah, it's not the government. You got to have jobs that they can fend.
They're coming. You got to retool.
I heard them say it too.
We got to retool.
I heard them say government is not his job to help people get a job.
Correct.
So what are we supposed to do? Everybody's supposed to own a business?
The government has never helped anybody from any of the companies here get a job. They have programs.
How did it get started? I'll talk to you the other day on this. You don't have a lot of time. I don't know how it all got started.
What got started?
All this thing about the job situation where people got jobs and now we're told get your own stuff and now all this stuff.
Okay.
So I got to find out the history. Okay.
Thank you much.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Okay, bye-bye.
Don't touch that dial. More of Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris is next on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Truth Nation, Gruber Law Offices and The Truth have raised the stakes for this year. The One Call That's All Gruber Cash Giveaway is now a $5K giveaway. Yes, you heard it right. $5,000 giveaway. Every weekday on 1017 The Truth, you will have the chance to be entered to win the $5K giveaway. Listen to The Truth for the One Call That's All cue to call for your chance to win $5,000. Gruber Law Offices. One Call That's All. Visit 1017thetruth.com for official contest rules.
This is your Planned Parenthood Advocates of Wisconsin Minute.
So, Black women's leadership needs to be prioritized. That means a whole lot of things, but it includes a message for white women, which would be, it'll be wise for you to take our lead. We've already demonstrated everything there is to the world about who we are. We shouldn't have to keep doing that over and over again. The reality is that there are times when we got to muster up the energy to do some things we don't want to do. But I don't want that to be commonplace for me, and I certainly don't want it to be commonplace for other Black women. There's often this message that we need to stay strong because there are people depending on it. No, we need ourselves.
Yeah, you can't, what do they say? You can't pour from an empty cup?
Yes. And I even am hearing people say a lot more, you shouldn't pour from your cup at all until it overflows. And it's the overflow that you give. You keep the full cup for yourself.
This has been your Planned Parenthood Advocates of Wisconsin Minute.
Ready to buy your first house, move into your forever home, or simply refinance? At Associated Bank, they've got you. With the right lending plan and guidance, you can achieve your dreams. Your financial goals are closer than you think, and Associated Bank is excited to help you reach them. Learn more at associatedbank.com/lending or ask a banker for details. Subject to credit approval, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Gear up for a great time as Sports Milwaukee hosts Milwaukee Tailgate Week, presented by Potawatomi Sportsbook. Set for April 24th to the 26th, Milwaukee Tailgate Week features a variety of gridiron activations for all ages, steeped in Milwaukee's iconic sports history, brews, restaurants, and venues. As the 2025 draft takes center stage in Green Bay, Sports Milwaukee and the Cream City are excited to welcome the football world to Wisconsin. For tickets, go to visitmilwaukee.org/tailgate. Brought to you by Visit Milwaukee. Handcrafted, homegrown, world class.
Use promo code VISIT for 50% off.
Ever had a question about local services, neighborhood events, civic engagement, or ways to get more involved in the community and just didn't know who to ask? That's where 1MKE comes in. 1MKE is a nonpartisan coalition helping Milwaukee residents to find trusted information and easy opportunities to get civically engaged. Want to plug into a neighborhood event, find community services, give back through volunteering? 1MKE is here to help. Learn more and get involved at 1mke.org. That is 1mke.org. We are 1MKE.
This is Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
It's been one of them days. Who do I get to blame today? Oh, wait. It's my fault. So we're going to be taking a look this week at more on tariffs and more on things that are going on in the world and the market. Evidently in Texas, a second child has died from measles. So I want to be praying for their family. That's a terrible thing to lose a child. It's unfortunate, but got to be on the lookout. Got to take care of family first. You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. Truth Unfiltered coming up next. Denise Thomas will be with you from 6 to 8, and then we will restart Tori Lowe Show and go on throughout the evening for the best in Milwaukee Black Talk Radio. Hey, God bless. Take care. Thank you, Glenn. Thank you, DJ Brother Z. God bless. I'm out.